So as I prepared for this address, I just kept being reminded of how resilient our people, the Haitian people, are. That before 1804, there was a strong vision of hope. Hope for freedom, hope for equality, hope for representation, hope for education, and hope for a voice. That's what this is all about, a vision of hope. I flash back to my several trips throughout Haiti and the beauty I was able to see that the news doesn't show. One of my favorite views is sitting off the beach. I'm not a big beach fan, or the sand fan, so I sit off the sand, but looking at the water and the waves crashing through the sway palm trees, it was a serene and tranquil moment. But for me, the analytical person, the wheels in my head started turning. Anyone who knows me, went toujours curieux. I'm always curious. I would keep watching the water, waves crashing on the shores and the ocean breeze pick up, and the palm trees would sway less subtly. I'm thinking, if this was New York, that tree would be down on a power line. LIPA or Con Ed will take about 3 months to restore the power back to a block. But here's this palm tree swaying aggressively, yet unfazed. I went to go learn about palm trees, and I learned that though each palm tree has its uniqueness and bears its own unique fruit, the strongest trait of theirs is that the roots of the palm tree run deep. So amidst the hurricanes, the tsunamis, storms, and winds, the palm trees remain unfeathered because the roots of the palm tree run deep. The palm tree is resilient. Look at the Haitian flag. Our young people are our palm trees. They have so many different talents, gifts, and skills that require us to grow their roots in God, in family, in community, and in education. And when we plant those roots in a young person, it's difficult for them to be destroyed by external forces because their roots run really deep, just like a palm tree. So when we turn on to the TV and listen to the news, we see so many of our young people, especially those from our diaspora, caught up in violence and crime. When we look at the statistics of our black young people going to prison, it is an atrocity. It is disheartening to see our young people turning their backs on education and opening their arms on negative external forces. Amen. One of the most sobering experiences I've had in my legal career is during an event called Motion Day in criminal court. For those unfamiliar with this day, and I hope if you're not a lawyer, you're unfamiliar with this day, it is the day where judges in their respective courtrooms would hear a day-long worth of motions and sentencing proceedings. During sentencing proceedings, the defendant would appear before the judge, and the judge would read the terms of their conviction, read the applicable statutes to their crimes, and allow final testimony from the prosecutor, the victims, the defense, and finally the defendant. Once everyone has spoken, the judge asks the level of education the defendant has attained, aspirations they may have had, reasons as to why they committed the crime that they have been convicted of. It would sadden me to hear black and brown young defendants who stood before the court and expressed that they aspired to be engineers, mathematicians, doctors, scientists, and the list goes on. Oddly enough, none of them said lawyers, but you know. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, education must enable one to sift and weigh evidence to discern the truth from false, the real from unreal, the facts from fiction. And I believe those young people could not discern true from false and real from unreal because of the educational resources they generally did not access. Moments like those, I am grateful to see organizations like CCCC prioritize and make education a cornerstone of their mission, as evidenced by their tutoring assistance programs, as evidenced by their computer classes, as evidenced by their library sciences that services over 100 students every day. Let's give them a round of applause. This is planting and cultivating deep roots of success in our people and our young people. I dare not say that all young people are the same and need the same exact cultivating, because just as palm trees, they bear different and diverse fruit through their talents, their gifts, and their skills. Yet, CCCC gets that and waters our young people through their dance and theater workshops, through their instrumental music classes, and their annual summer camps. Let's give them a hand. I'm gonna get a little personal. So when I was growing up, I was a very talkative kid. You see that table over there? They know. Go figure. And in school, my talkativeness would get me in so much trouble, to the point where it made all of my teachers frustrated. I would even intervene and speak on the behalf of my classmates and friends who would get in trouble. I would be their Johnny Cochran. Until I had to go to the principal's office. I remember that our rector, Candy Anthony, would always have to save me from trouble I would get myself into by reasoning with my teachers on my behalf. I remember one day Father Anthony sat me down and spoke to me about why it was I liked to talk so much. I told him something along the lines that I like to speak out for not only myself but for others. Then he asked, what is it that I wanted to be when I grew up? And I responded, I want to be a priest or a lawyer. With both responses, I knew that there is a huge calling to advocating for others and a level of being very talkative, if you've been to church recently. Ever since that talk, he told me the importance of education and then alerted others of my aspirations and began creating a community that would later on cultivate me into who I am today and doing what I love most, advocating for others and talking. You gave me the mic, so But my community realized that my uniqueness and diverse characteristics were not something that should be ignored. Rather, it was something that united everyone around me and supported me through my educational and professional journeys by giving me strong and deep roots, like palm trees. As a community, we have a duty to cultivate in our young people roots that run deep, just like the palm tree, just like what CCCC is doing today. Amen. In today's society, our young people are facing hurricanes of their own. They're facing hurricanes of drugs and depression. They're facing a tsunami of bad influences and peer pressure. We need to do like CCCC and cultivate and the intellect and diversity of the talent of our young people so that they don't give in those disasters and become like those young people on Motion Day that are far too gone. Dr. King said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. We must not be silent for our young people. We must be resilient for them. As Haitians and as friends of Haitians, we are all have been called to be a resilient community for all our young people, because God has helped us and put others in our lives, whether we know it or not, and we must pay it forward. God has blessed me with many people who realized my diverse talents and united together to instill in me deep roots, to have a community to help me overcome those challenges I face. Just like that palm tree that stands boldly in the middle of the Haitian flag as a symbol of resilience, so do we need to do within our young people. And when we do so, we will be able to plant roots in our young people so deep that they too would be able to withstand the hurricanes and storms in their lives. And that is my vision of hope. Thank you.